In the heart of a dusty town, hidden between narrow lanes and noisy marketplaces, stood an old workshop made of stone and wood. The paint on its door had faded long ago, and the iron handle was cold to the touch. Inside this workshop lived Ariv, a young bellmaker of 22. His hands were strong from years of labor, but his heart was delicate, like glass under pressure. Ariv was known for his craft. The bells he made were beautiful, perfect in shape, rich in sound. Yet people spoke more about his nature than his talent. Too quiet, they said. Too emotional. This world will eat him alive. Ariv heard these words often. Sometimes spoken openly, sometimes whispered behind his back. Each word stayed with him longer than it should have. Every day followed the same rhythm. Ariv woke before sunrise, washed his face with cold water, and walked through the town to his workshop. The market was always loud, vendors shouting prices, children running, men arguing over small things. The noise was not just outside, it entered Ariv's chest and stayed there. One morning, a customer examined a bell and said casually, "The bell is strong. I wish the maker was too." The man laughed and walked away. Ariv stood still. His fingers trembled. He wanted to shout, to defend himself, but instead he swallowed his pain and kept working. By evening, his chest felt heavy, his thoughts restless. That night, Ariv could not sleep. He closed his workshop early and walked toward the river at the edge of town. The moon reflected softly on the water. The world felt quieter there, as if it breathed slower. Near the river stood an old temple, partly broken by time. Beside it sat a monk, calm and unmoving, next to a large bell with a visible crack running along its side. The bell was silent, abandoned. Ariv stopped and asked, "Why keep a broken bell? It has no use." The monk opened his eyes and smiled gently. "Not everything that is silent is useless." Ariv sat beside him. For a long moment, neither spoke. Finally, Ariv said, "I try to stay calm, but people disturb me so easily. Their words follow me everywhere. I want peace, but I don't know how." The monk picked up a small wooden hammer and lightly struck the cracked bell. It made no sound. Then he walked a few steps away and struck a perfect bell hanging nearby. Its sound spread across the river. Deep, steady, soothing. Birds flew up from the trees. "Both bells were struck," the monk said. "But only one responded with music." Ariv frowned. "So the cracked one is weak?" The monk shook his head. "No. Once, it was perfect too. But every strike filled it with resistance, anger, pride, fear. Instead of allowing the sound to flow, it fought the blow." He led Ariv to a small furnace behind the temple. Inside, metal glowed red with heat. "Fire does not destroy metal," the monk continued. "It reveals it. What breaks us is not pressure, but how we meet it." Ariv felt those words sink deep. "People will strike you," the monk said softly. "With insults. With judgments. You cannot stop the hammer. But you can choose whether you crack, harden, or resonate." Ariv returned home that night with a strange calm. The next days were not easy. People still spoke carelessly. The market was still loud. But Ariv began to pause. When hurt arose, he breathed. When anger knocked, he waited. Weeks passed. Then months. Something changed. Not the world, but Ariv. When mocked, he smiled lightly. When praised, he stayed grounded. His work improved. His bells carried a deeper sound, one that felt alive. During the town's annual festival, Ariv unveiled his newest bell. When it rang, the crowd fell silent. Even the harshest voices stopped. Someone whispered, "It feels peaceful." Ariv looked at the bell and understood. The world still struck him. But now he did not break. He rang.